What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. What's good, everyone? I did not tie my hair before this, so I figured why not do the intro like this? Oh my god. What's good, everyone? What is going on? I see Wild laid away with his other account. Finn, what's good? Welcome to the channel. The Ninja, what's good, bro? What is good? Oh my goodness, what happened to your hair, boy? Rowlet, what's good, bro? Anytime my hair. Chat, look how long my hair has gotten. This is crazy, dude. This is so crazy. Me, what's good? Look at this. Look at this, chat. And this is with curls. This is with curls. Like, goddamn. Imagine if I straightened my hair. Imagine how much hair I'd have if I straightened it. That'd be insane. I'd have so much hair. I need to tie this real quick, chat. before we start. There we go. There we go. All right, what is good, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. My first stream at 5 p.m. EST. Normally we start an hour later at 6. Today's at 5. We're gonna be starting stream at 5 p.m. EST every stream day now. And if you're new here, the stream days, I'm gonna keep repeating it because it's a brand new schedule that I'm on right now. It is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 5 p.m. EST. That is my current stream schedule. So without further ado, you guys saw the title. We're continuing Omanyte eggs in our Gen 1 living decks. So here we are. I got a couple eggs in my party. We're obviously just gonna keep doing what we're doing, keep hatching these eggs. We're at 150 hatched. I would like today to get to around like 300 egg hatches, and then once we're done hatching eggs, once we're satisfied with the amount of eggs we've hatched, we're going to hop back onto Pokemon Scarlet Violet, where we will be doing some more Terra raids. So yeah, today's stream I got caffeine, so hopefully we get a shiny in today's stream. That's what we're hoping for. We did not get a shiny yesterday. Colton, what's good? Hopefully today's the day we get a shiny. Hopefully. We're only missing 4 shinies for the living decks. And Omanyte and Omastar are 2 of them. So yeah. What's that in our time zone, son? EST, 5 p.m. EST. Oh my god. I don't know if I said hi to I'm me yet, but welcome in, bro. Laidaway is back on his account now. What's good, bro? What is good? All right, hopefully we get a shiny today. That is the goal. Obviously, that's the whole point of the challenge of the living decks, but my account, what are you talking about? Sure, bro. Sure, bro. Oh my god. Chad, you guys don't understand how, like, hype I am to not do egg hatches anymore. You don't understand. Literally our final 4 shinies are all egg hatches. But yeah. You did. Hi again. Bye, I'm me. What's your favorite sport? I love boxing. Boxing is my favorite sport to watch. I don't box myself, but I would love to. But yeah, my favorite sport to watch is boxing. Boxing and soccer. I'm sorry, Europeans. I called it soccer. I know. It's football, mate. Screamer, what's good? Hello, I don't know if I'll be able to join stream today, as tonight is my auntie's peacefully died asleep. I might hop here whenever, but not sure. Wish best of luck though. My condolences to you, bro. I'm sorry for your loss, dude. My condolences to you, Screamo, bro. It's all good if you can't tune into stream today. It's obviously you have a reason, you know. Well, you don't need a reason anyway, realistically. If you don't want to watch stream, you don't have to watch stream. Like, yeah. My condolences, bro. That sucks to hear, man. It's football, I know. I am Italian, but I was born here in Canada, so I'm technically American, even though my culture is not, but I live in a place where it's soccer, so to me it's soccer. But yeah. I gotta go. Just want to say hi. It's all good, Rowlet. I'll catch you soon, bro. I'll catch you soon. Because it's been a minute since I've spoken to you, dude. But yeah. You don't need socks for football. Is that why it's called soccer? You know, I actually have no idea. You live in Quebec, isn't it football or something in French? In French, it's soccer. In French, it's still soccer. They say soccer. Well, okay. My French, chat, Quebec French is not the same as France French. Okay? It's not the same as French. In France, they say football. But in here, because it's called soccer, it's soccer. But yeah. It's like, for example, I might get this example wrong, I'm not too familiar, but Hindu and I think it's called Punjabi. Is that the language? I might be wrong. Might be really wrong. I don't remember if that's a language or not, but I know there's two languages for India where they're both the same but different words. That's what French in Quebec and French in France is. So like for example, ice cream is not ice cream, is just called glacé in France. Here it's crème glacée. You have to say crème glacée because glace is ice. Over here. So for us, ice cream is crème glacée because glass is ice. So you have to say crème or else you're just talking about ice. I don't know what it's called in like France French, but they say chicken nuggets differently. For us, it's croquette. So yeah, for us, chicken nuggets are called croquette. But yeah. I knew I hated the French. The English and the French hate each other though. Even here, bro. Even here. The English and the French hate each other. But yeah. It's called soccer in America because they stupid. Every time they say it wrong, we sock them one. Wow. That's a phrase meaning punch. I know that means you punch someone. I don't know why my ring light is like facing the wall right now. I know what sock someone means. I'm your number 2 fan. Lateaway is currently first place. I haven't checked those in a while. I remember saying I would shout out the top fans every stream, and I just haven't done it. But I'm gonna start doing that. Going to start doing that for sure. I'm gonna start, by the way, in every video I have coming out, which I have none finished, but like every video I make in the future, I'll always shout out members, by the way. Like at the end of the video, I'll always shout out every member. So if you're not yet a member of the channel and you would like to support the channel and use emotes and chat and all that, it only costs 99 cents. So feel free. If you have 99 cents, obviously. Because I know a lot of you guys here are kids and don't even have like debit cards or credit cards. You know. I have 98 cents. Wow. Okay, I googled it. Apparently soccer came from the British. Apparently it's used to be called association football. Then it got shortened to ASOC, which then became soccer. Damn. Then how come we're the only ones that use it? I don't know. If you think of it, okay, look, the only reason why it's called like soccer in America is because football is something different here. You guys in like football, like American football, it's an American sport. You guys don't have teams or even really watch it. I mean, like a lot of European people watch American football, but they support American teams. So that's mostly why it's called soccer here. It's because we have football already. We have a different football, which I don't know why American football is called football, because you could kick the ball in football, but only if you're from like I don't watch football, but it's only if you're from your touchdown line and you kick the football to try to get it through the goalpost. So you can only do it like at one point during your play. So I don't know why American football is called football. We kick the ball sometime. I know, but like you can't do it all the time. But you use your hands is dumb. I know. Shouldn't football be called handball? And soccer should just be called football, because you can't. Soccer is literally football. You can only use your feet unless you're a goalie, or you can use your head. Your feet and your head, or actually any part of your body other than your arm. You know, you could use in soccer, but like, but yeah. You actually kick decently often. Almost every we start the game with a kickoff, and when you are within the kicker's distance of the field goal, you can kick it. Yeah, it's not revolved around the feet though. Soccer is. I have some clips of me playing with Biscuit. Of me and Biscuit playing. Biscuit is Wild's cat, for those of you wondering. I don't know sports really, but American football looks like shit rugby. If I'm being honest, I'm not a huge sports guy. Like at all. I'm not at all a huge sports guy. I like sports. But I don't really like watching sports unless it's a hype event. Like, for example, soccer. We'll use soccer as an example. I love soccer. It's definitely my favorite sport with a ball. It's my favorite. It's my second favorite sport. Okay, it's my second favorite sport. Do I watch it all the time? No. I only really watch it if there's a major game, like a Champions League final, or I watch every World Cup and every Euro Cup and every Copa America game. Like, I watch the tournaments. I watch the tournaments, you know? Mainly finals. Like Copa America, last year it was, I only watched Copa America because Canada was playing. And we made it to the semifinals. We lost against Argentina. But I watched every Canada game. I watched every Canada Copa America game. The Euros last year, I watched every Italy game. I watched every Italy game, every England game, and every Portugal game. Those are always Euros. Those are always my top 3 teams. Italy, because I am Italian. Obviously, that's my top 1. That's the one I'm going to support the most. England, because they're actually really good despite losing a lot. They're really good. And Portugal, because Ronaldo. You know, that's why I watch Portugal games, because Ronaldo. Other than that, I don't watch soccer. Even boxing. Like I said earlier, boxing's my favorite sport, chat. Boxing is my favorite sport. I love boxing. I love boxing. Steelix was good, bro. But I don't watch every boxing match. I don't. I only watch ones I'm interested in. You know? Right now, at the moment, there's no massive fight that I'm super interested in. Other than Canelo and Terrence Crawford. I always pronounce his name wrong. But yeah, me personally, my favorite boxers to watch, I love Gervonta Davis, which he retired. Gervonta Davis retired. I love Ryan Garcia, which I think he's taking a step back after his loss against Rolly Romero, which was horrible. That fight pissed me off to watch. But yeah, UFC, I'm a fan of UFC, but not really. Like, not really. Obviously, like, I watch Sugar Sean O'Malley UFC events. I watch Sean O'Malley. That's pretty much it. Conor, when he was in the UFC, he still is technically under contract. I just haven't fought in like forever. Every Conor McGregor fight. I've seen a couple George St. Pierre fights because he's from Quebec. So whenever he fights, there's like a whole field day over here. But yeah. I'm more of a boxing guy, but boxing's been really quiet recently. Not even gonna lie. I watch American football a lot. I've only ever American football games. I've only ever seen Super Bowl games. That's it. I've never watched an off-season game or a playoffs or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it is in football. I've only ever watched Super Bowl finals, you know. Hockey, I watch a lot of hockey, you know. Obviously that's the sport here in Canada. I've been to a hockey game recently, like this year I went to a hockey game. It was Montreal Canadiens versus I think it was the Hurricanes. But yeah. I hate watching sports. I don't mind playing, but I hate watching. It's so boring. I only watch sports if I have a reason, like a friend/family involved or a clip of a moment. Although chess boxing and wrestling are, I don't know what wrestling is. I have no idea what that is. Chess boxing, I've never seen a chess boxing match. But yeah. You know what I think would be cool, chat? Every time I think about chess boxing, I think about an idea I have in my head, which will probably never happen ever. But Pokemon battle boxing, where basically it's like chess boxing. Chess boxing, for example, you fight in the ring, and in between rounds, you play chess. Instead, Pokemon battle boxing is you fight in the ring, and in between rounds, you battle Pokemon. I think that'd be sick. You have 6 Pokemon in your party, and there's 6 rounds of boxing. Every round, it's a one-on-one. Or in between every round, it's a one-on-one Pokemon battle. That would be sick. That would be sick. I watch most major American sports, so pretty much just football. That's kind of it. Major American sports, you know, you got football, you got WWE, boxing, UFC, I guess that's kind of worldwide. There isn't really a specific country involved with those. Basketball, that's a massive one. NBA, you know. That's pretty much it. Football, basketball. That's like American, like United States of America. If you include Canada, then hockey. Which, by the way, I don't care if there's US teams. Hockey's not an American sport. Like, it's a Canadian sport. And literally every single fucking player that's in an American hockey team are Canadian citizens. Like, you know, 90% of the American teams are Canadian players. Barely any hockey players are American. I know. The American teams are filled with Canadian players. So, like, yeah, there's definitely a lot of American hockey fans on the East Coast. But it's a Canadian sport, dude. It's a Canadian sport. I'm actually, my coasters that I use, I have a Pittsburgh Penguins coaster right here. And then Chicago Blackhawks coaster right here. I don't actually have a Montreal Canadiens coaster. Which sucks because that's my city, you know? I don't like the Penguins either. I don't even like the Blackhawks. I don't even like the Chicago Blackhawks. But if there's one team, and I'm sure you know this, Laidaway, if you say you watch NHL, I'm sure you know the rivalry, the crazy rivalry between the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins. If there's any like hockey team I hate, it's the Bruins. It's the Boston Bruins. But yeah. That's like, Boston Bruins are like my biggest op. They're literally the Montreal Canadiens' biggest op. Boston Bruins gonna sweep you? Well, it's currently off season, so all the hockey players are playing golf right now. They're all in their country clubs playing golf right now. I also hate the Bruins. I'm a Devils fan. Okay. At least we could relate on something. At least hockey team wise, we could relate on something. But yeah. No one hates the Bruins more than Montreal fans. And then that's a fact. No one hates the Bruins more than Montreal fans. I finally hit 3K blueberry points. Only 9K more to go. Are you trying to unlock the like extra, or yeah, the extra spawns for the starter Pokemon and stuff like that? I'm way too European to know what you're talking about. Oh my god. This is why I love being an Italian immigrant. Okay? Because I get the best of both worlds. I get European culture and I get American culture. You know, I get European culture because I grew up in it. You know, I live in the same building as my grandparents, you know, and they were born and raised in Italy and they moved here when they were like in their 40s, you know, and they pretty much like raised me almost, you know. So I know European culture well, and like soccer teams and stuff like that, Premier League. I know all the Italy teams, you know. And also because I was born in Canada and I've lived in Canada my whole life, I know American culture. You know, I know NBA team. I don't watch NBA, but I know NBA teams. You know, football, I only really know the Patriots. That's pretty much it. I only really know the Patriots, and I can, off the top of my head, I can only name 3 football players. I only know 3 football players. Travis Kelce, because he's with Taylor Swift. Patrick Mahomes, because he's like the star right now. And obviously Tom Brady. Because he is the Cristiano Ronaldo of football. Those are the only 3 football players I know. You know? Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tom Brady. That's it. That is it. I know nothing about soccer. Damn, bro. You gotta tap into that. Because that soccer is worldwide, bro. It is worldwide. That's why I love it so much. Because it's worldwide. Compared to like American football, for example. You can only really get it if you're American. That's why I don't really like sports like that. Canada, with hockey, or hockey, it's a bit different because it's not just Canada. It's the US, but hockey is not even all of the US. Hockey, chat, hockey is only big in all of Canada and Eastern America. East Coast, US. West Coast, they know nothing about hockey. You go to California and you start talking about NHL teams and no one's gonna know a thing. You go to New York, you talk about NHL teams, everyone's gonna know what you're talking about because it's one of the biggest. I think, honestly, New York has the hockey team. They have the New York Rangers. I think hockey is the biggest sport in New York. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's the biggest sport in New York. You know? Hockey is really niche. Canadian and Eastern America, Eastern US. Soccer is worldwide. That's why I love soccer. It's worldwide. You go to South America, everyone watches soccer. You go to North America, everyone watches soccer. You go to Europe, everyone watches soccer. You go to Asia, everyone watches soccer. You know, it's a worldwide thing. That's why I love it. That's why the World Cup is the biggest sporting tournament in the whole world. It's because soccer's worldwide. That's why I love soccer. The second you said, I only know 3, I knew the 3 you were gonna say. Wow. Well, it's because they're the most famous ones, you know? Patrick Mahomes is the top NFL player currently. Tom Brady is the GOAT of the NFL. And Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift, so he's so, like, recognizable just because of that. Someone subbed and I did not see the pop-up, so I appreciate whoever just subbed. But yeah, isn't the biggest sports event globally the Olympics? Yeah, but like the Olympics is not it's sports, yeah, but it's an abundance of a bunch of different types of sports put into one. I don't count that as a main sport. Like it's not a league, you know? Anyone could join the Olympics. I could start running track. You know, I could start running track for like 5 years, get really good at it, and join the Olympics. You know, not everyone can join the NBA or the Premier League or the NHL or and not everyone could join that. Anyone could be an Olympian, you know. So the Olympics technically, yeah, is like the worldwide thing, but me personally, I think, I'm not gonna lie, the Olympics doesn't get really hype like the World Cup does. Bro, whenever the World Cup is going on, everyone watches it. Everyone watches it. Whenever the Olympics are going on, yeah, there's still a lot of people that watch the Olympics, but it's not anywhere near as hype. Like, you don't see, like, on TikTok or Instagram Reels, you don't see clips of Olympics on there unless there's controversy or a meme is created out of it. World Cup, you see clips of that everywhere, dude. You see clips of that everywhere. You know? I still see clips of World Cup 2010. You know? They even get a song out of it, bro. They even get a top artist to make a song for it, dude. But yeah. That's why I think World Cup is bigger than Olympics. But yeah. Even the Euros, dude. Even the Euros. And I'm not even like, okay, no, I can't make the argument. I was gonna say I'm not even in Europe, but then I'm like, I am Italian though. So obviously I'm gonna watch the Euros if Italy's, you know, playing. So obviously I'm gonna watch the Euros because I am not European because I wasn't born in Europe, but I'm Italian. You know, I'm technically European, kind of, not really. My heritage is there, you know. So I'm gonna watch the Euros, but like even Americans watch the Euros. And Copa America too. Every time the Euros goes on, Copa America goes on at the same time. So there's always hype. There's always hype. Are esports a sport? I don't really classify that as a sport. You're not an athlete if you're in the esports. Me personally, technically it's under a league, it's under a sport, yes. Okay, I'll make the argument and say esports is a sport, but if you are competing in an esports tournament, you're not an athlete. And I think that's just common sense. You're not an athlete. I think it is a sport. Technically, it's a mind sport. It's a mind sport because you need IQ mainly. You don't need to be like an athlete. You know, you just have to have fast reaction times and high IQ for the game you're playing. So I guess it's a sport because you need those same two skills for normal sports, high reaction time and IQ in the sport you're playing. You know, hockey players need that, soccer players need that. It's the same trades as a sport, you're just not an athlete. And I'm pretty sure that's common sense. But yeah. I would consider it a sport. The definition of sports is an activity involving physical extraction and skill in which an individual or team competes against other or others for entertainment. So yeah, technically esports is a sport, but you're not an athlete, you know? You're not an athlete if you're an esports participant. That's what I would call, you know, like people who play sports are athletes. People who play esports, me personally, you're a gamer. You're a gamer or a card gamer, because, you know, I don't know if does, like, let's say Pokemon TCG, is that fall under esports? I got no idea, but yeah. Does the definition of sports define the I can't read, dude. Exertion limit, like moving the chess piece requires physical. Yeah, but that's, you don't have to train to, when you train for an esports tournament, let's say Pokemon VGC, you're not training to click A. You're training strategy. When you train for like a boxing match, you're training for physical strength. You know? So it's different. You know? Obviously you train if you're a chess player and you're in a tournament. You train chess, yes, but you're not training your arm moving the piece. You're training your skill and your strategy. So it's different. You're more mind training than physical training, you know? But yeah. I forget the commands for gambling. If you want to play slots, exclamation mark slot space and then the amount you want to bet. And if you're playing roulette, just do exclamation mark what is it, exclamation mark like 5,000 black, you know, or something like that. You do exclamation mark the number you want to bet and then the color. So yeah. What if you're too weak to hold a chess piece, so you have to train your arm to love it? If you're too weak to hold a chess piece, you're either a newborn baby. My camera just unplugged somehow. I really don't know how that unplugged, because I didn't even touch my PC. But sure. But yeah, if you're too weak to hold a chess piece, you either have a broken hand or arm or a condition that doesn't let you use your arm for physical use, or you're a newborn baby. You know? Which means you can't legally compete. So, but yeah. If you're too weak to hold a chess piece, see a doctor. Yeah. Honestly, I think a newborn baby can hold a chess piece. You just need grip strength, bro. The things are not even a pound. You know? Probably like a couple kilograms. Pretty sure my AirPods case, I think, is heavier than a chess piece, by the way. My AirPods case with the AirPods in it, I think is heavier than a chess piece. You know? Unless it's a metal chessboard. Then sure. Or like a marble chessboard. What if I build a metal chess set that has electronic running through, or electricity running through? Well, goddamn. What if a rich newborn baby wants to play chess with a diamond chess set? Okay, but why would they have that at esports? Or in chess boxing? Like, goddamn. Already finished the coffee, chats. Already finished un café. Un café. I'm speaking Italian here. Un caffè con latte. Chat, one day I have to just confuse the hell out of you guys and just go live and speak French the entire stream. I might do that for next April Fool's. Next April Fool's, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna talk French the entire stream. Chat, I remember this April Fool's. I remember what I did this year. This year for April Fool's, I started stream, or for like the first hour of stream, I had a screenshot of my chair. Of just my chair with the mic in front of it, and I used that as the face cam for like the first hour of stream. So remember. Some of these commands do not work, I guess. If you do ! command, it'll show every command. I'm pretty sure. This year's April Fool's was so dumb. It worked, bro. I literally went. I remember I was laughing so hard I couldn't do my intro. I remember laughing so hard I was unable to say my intro. Literally, what I did for this April Fool's was I took a screenshot of this. This was my face cam for a whole hour of April Fool's. It was just that. It was literally just my chair. I remember. I laughed so hard I could not do my intro on April Fool's. I think next April Fool's, I swear, if I remember this, by the time next April Fool's hits, I'm gonna do the entire April Fool's stream in French. I'm gonna speak French for the whole stream. Crispy, what's good, bro? What is good, my guy? Yeah, I'm gonna do my whole April Fool's stream in French. I will not be watching on April 1st. Why not, bro? Why not? Oh my god. Trust, bro. I'll teach y'all some French. Maintenant, on cherche pour un Omanyte qui est why am I forgetting? Maintenant, on cherche pour un Omanyte qui est violette dans des œufs. I said right now we're looking for a purple Omanyte in eggs. That's what I said right now. On April Fool's, chat has to chat in any language that Jeppe doesn't speak. So you just anything but English, French, and Italian. In chat on April 1st, you guys have to talk in any language that's not English, French, or Italian. But yeah. Actually, Italian would work. I only know, like, I know very little Italian. I know very little Italian. Bonjour, je m'appelle Steelix Fan, et mon français c'est ne pas bon. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's definitely Google translated, but it said very well. Steelix said, hello, my name is Steelix Fan, and my French isn't good. That's what he just said, by the way. And my French is not good. Everyone talks to me in French right now. Everyone Google Translate. Talks to me in French right now. I'm sick but feeling better. Damn, dude. Have you been streaming? Have you been streaming or taking time to rest? Okay, whoa. Colton is not speaking French and neither is I'm me. I think that's Dutch. What I'm me just said, I'm pretty sure that's Dutch. No, I did that myself. I can speak French. It's Belgium's second language, remember? Okay, damn. I did not know that. I didn't know that. French is Canada's second language, but it's Quebec's first language. And I live in Quebec. Quebec is a province in Canada, by the way. A province is like a state. For those of you who don't know, a province is like a state. Quebec is a French-speaking province. So although Canada's second language is French, in Quebec, French is the first language. So yeah. How do you say let's smash in French? I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to say that. My French isn't the best. I'm not fluent, by the way. I'm not fluent in French, but I know a lot. I know a lot. Like if I go to Paris or France as a tourist, I'll be able to speak there, you know? I don't know too much. Like I'm not fluent again. My French is good. I know a lot of French, but it's not fluent. I'm not perfect, but yeah. Let's smash is écration. Mon français est très bon. Really? That's why your grammar's wrong. It's très bien, man. It's supposed to say mon français est très bien. Bien is B-I-N. But yeah. It's alright. Bro, I'm Belgian. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. Belgian. My first language is Dutch, and I even don't know Let's Smash is in Dutch. God damn. You weren't answering me? That's because I don't understand. I don't even know if I'm pretty sure that's Japanese. And Chrissy put the seal. Seal means fuck. In fuck. But yeah. Je suis super bon. What? Super bon. Je suis super bon en français. Me too. Du à Google Translate. Wow. You are super bon. It's très bien, man. Alors j'utilisais Google Translate pour ça, mais je suis en train de dîner. Oh, nice. He used Google Translate and he's about to eat dinner. Or he's eating dinner right now. Google Translate does not know French. Google Translate actually made you say super bon. Because that's crazy. I have a respiratory infection. Fuck. Oh my god. I'd rather eat crumbs with buns than steaks with snakes. What? I don't remember who made that quote. No shiny Omanyte yet. This time I'm resetting the counter, by the way, when we get the shiny. I'm not gonna make the same mistake I did with Kabuto. Cause for Kabuto, I did not reset the counter after getting my first shiny. So I had to do math just to figure out if I was over odds or not. Oui, je mange du patate et la sauce tomate. He's eating potatoes with tomato sauce. Wait, no, I read that wrong. That's not patate. That's where dyslexia comes in. God damn. Don't know why I read patate there. Patate is potato, though. How do I say it? I don't know how to say that in French. I'm pretty sure MILF is MILF. J'aime les MILF. That's how you would say it in French. Or je t'aime des MILF. Because j'aime is I like, je t'aime is I love. So. Oh, wow. 8-Ball does not think I'm gonna get a shiny. Pate is pasta, I think. I know. I read it wrong. That's just because I'm dyslexic. What? Potatoes with tomato sauce. If you think of it, that's just fries and ketchup. Abel says I'm gonna get banned. What? Why? Quel est ton adresse? So I'm not, bro. Oh my god. No shiny Omanyte. There is no backgrounds. I don't have any background set up. Les nouvelles personnes qui venaient dans le charbon. Tellement confusé. I know. He said the new people that are coming into chat are gonna be very confused. Can I use a D's nuts shogun shepe by typing in Dutch? Without a doubt. Wow. Put laid away in Google Translate for a second. English to French. Those are two words. You have to put a space in between them though. If you don't put a space in between them, it's just gonna say laid away. I choked on my meal. Drew, check Discord. Okay. Oh my god. I can't say that. I can't say that on stream, but why is that the translation? I didn't even know that's what that meant. I didn't even know that's how you say that in French. Oh my god. It translates to the R word, chat. Oh my god. Is it a sleep streaming again? I've never sleep streamed. What do you mean again? Help, I think it's true as well. I've been called that before. God damn. You know what I thought? Okay, I had an actual conversation with one of my friends this before at work. What I'm about to say might be controversial. Okay, I'm not gonna say the word, but the topic might be controversial. So warning. I'm dyslexic, okay? I have a learning disability. So does that mean I'm allowed to say the R word? The R word? So, because if you think of it, African American people are allowed to say the N word. Gay people are allowed to say the F word. So I have a learning disability that genuinely screws me. Like, I could barely read. Am I allowed to say the R word? Like, technically, am I allowed to say it? Because I have a disability. You know? I still won't say it because it's offensive. But technically, does that make me allowed to? Like, I genuinely had this conversation with my friends once. But yeah. Galax, I appreciate the raid, bro. I appreciate the raid, dude. How was your stream, dude? Hello, Galax. Perfect timing. I know. Oh my god. Yeah, technically, am I allowed to say it? Jeppe, I say all the word. That's not good, dude. Dragon Slayer, what's good? I appreciate the raid, Galax, dude. How was Galax's stream? How was his stream, everyone? Bien sûr, Wild. That's another French. What's good? Hope stream is going well and shiny shine. You're so close to the goal. I know. Final four. I need Omanyte, Omastar, Aerodactyl, and Jinx. Those are the last 4 Gen 1 shinies left. So yeah, W stream as always. What did he get? Any shinies if he was shiny hunting? Screamo, welcome back, dude. Welcome back. Welcome in, Raiders. Ignore the French. Yeah, we've been talking French for like half of this stream. But yeah. Well, going for 3. Hopefully, dude. Hopefully we get the first Omanyte today. Hopefully we do. Everyone go sub to Galaxy if you're not already. I'll put the link in the chat. And now we're talking about slurs. We're not talking about slurs. Okay, basically, Galax, I have a question for you. Okay? Okay? Trust me, this sounds controversial, but it's not. Okay? I have a learning disability. Okay, we were talking about French. First of all, it started with French. And Laidaway's username in French translates to the R word. Okay? So this is what we were discussing. Technically, I'm dyslexic, okay? I have a disability. I have a learning disability. Okay? Does that mean I'm allowed to say the R word? Because African American people are allowed to say the N word. Gay people or anyone a part of the LGBTQ are allowed to say the F word. So because I have a disability, does that mean I'm allowed to say the R word? That's like a genuine question I have. You know? Like, short people like dwarves are allowed to say the M word, which used to be a term, but now it's a slur. You know, what you would call a little person. They're called little people now, or dwarves. They're allowed to say the M word. So that that's a genuine question I have. But yeah. Oui, nous parlons français et je peux... No. Verdile. I don't want to say the word. I don't want to say the word. I just want to know if I can. I still won't say it, even if I can. But yeah, why did YouTube unsub me? Maybe you were never subbed in the first place. Probably. Maybe, yeah. This is in the chat. Welcome in. I do not see the message. But Colin said her name, so I'm assuming she's here. Chat, he's lost his mind. Bro, I've hatched way too many eggs, dude. I just did like 600 something Kabuto eggs for 2 shiny Kabutos. And now I'm pushing 200 Omanytes, dude. And I still need to get Aerodactyl and a Smoochum in egg hatches. You know? I'm losing my mind with these eggs. Oh my god. Give me proof of one time I said the potty word. I didn't even know that was a word people shouldn't say until like 5 months ago. God damn. The R word is offensive. The R word is really offensive. The M word, like what you would call or like, it's not a slur. The M word I don't understand, because it's not a slur. It's a term for little people. It's what you call little people. You know? So that I don't understand why that's offensive now, because that's a term. You know? That's like if, like, for example, at work. Let's say you're at work. Sometimes my boss is like, oh, can you go get me this guy? And I don't know, like, he says a name. Like, let's say, I don't know, oh, can you go get me Jared? That's a fake name, but I'm like, oh, can you go get Jared for me? Or, oh, can you go give this to Jared? And I'll be like, I don't know who Jared is. And he'll be like, oh, he's the Asian guy. That's not racist. You're just describing the person. You know? So, like, that's what the M word is. it's not a, like, that's why I don't understand why that's offensive now. You know, me personally, I think calling them little people is more offensive. To me, calling them little people sounds more offensive. You know? But yeah. All these offensive words are just terms that people get bitchy about. Some of them are, not all of them, because the N-word is really offensive, you know? That's not a term. You know, that's not something you say to describe someone. That's a genuine, like, there's history backing that word that makes it fucked up, you know? That's completely different. But like things like the M word, like what I'm talking about, that should not be offensive, you know? But yeah, I need to, as I was going through my PC boxes, I need to start releasing some Omanyte, because I almost filled out all my boxes. I don't think all these words are kind of silly other than the N word. I don't care who says what. I think the F word and the N word are definitely like the worst ones. When I say the F word, by the way, I'm not talking about fuck. I'm talking about like the one people use against LGBTQ people, you know? That one, I think it's screwed up because that's blatantly like insulting someone, you know? But yeah. Apparently there's a slur for robots now, by the way. I don't want to say it on stream in case in 50 years from now I could get canceled for saying it. Bill, thank you for subbing. It's exactly what Wild said. Another person to sub, Dragon Slayer, I appreciate it for subbing, bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna say the word on stream in case in like 10 years from now the robots take over and they end up like executing me for saying it. But there's a slur for robots now. And I'm telling you, chat, I drop it all the time at self-checkout. I say that slur all the time at self-checkout. That sounds so fucked up out of context. But yeah, there's a new slur to call robots or AI. But yeah. Oh my god. W, Dragon Slayer, and Bill. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for subbing. If robots execute people for saying that, I'm cooked. Bro, you know what's crazy? Eventually, right now, no one cares. I just realized I opened up Scarlet Violet. Right now, no one cares about that word because it's a term for robots. But in the future, when robots start to pretty much become people, that term is gonna be offensive. I know it. I know it. And that's why I won't say it on stream, because I'm thinking about my future. Don't want those robots to hate me. Because eventually, who knows? I might be streaming to a bunch of robots someday. That is... Wow. I don't even want to think about that, because that might actually be a reality. That might be a reality. Someday I might genuinely be streaming to like a bunch of AIs. God damn. If ever that happens, I'll probably, I'm not gonna lie, if ever someday like AI or like robots, whatever, actually have like their own mind and they start to consume like music and TV and YouTube, if I have robots and AI watching my streams as a viewer, like for entertainment, I'm quitting streaming. I'm quitting streaming. I'll never stream again if that happens. You know, bro, eventually that's gonna happen. It sounds so unrealistic, but eventually robots will take over. They will. They're gonna live alongside us. They're gonna be like pets and dogs and cats. Just they're gonna understand everything that's going on. That's literally what AI or robots is gonna turn into. They're gonna be like pets that actually understand you. Like, especially people who have, like, for example, Tesla put out that like robot assistant. Bro, you pretty much have a roommate, dude. You know? Like an actual robot roommate. Like, that's crazy. Bro, imagine watching the Super Bowl, cracking open a beer, and your robot assistant, your Tesla robot assistant, is sitting on the couch next to you, watching the game with you. That's gonna be a reality. Like, honestly, within 10 years. Like, that is crazy to think about. Really crazy to think about. But yeah. God damn, man. That's actually wild. Oh my god, Calvin. Being my pet. Oh my god, dude. That's the best chat message I've received in like a month, dude. Oh my god. I'm so grateful that I have human flesh and muscles beneath it, and bones fit my bony I can't read that. Oh, nicely. Why did I think that was a different word? I thought that was a nickel, like the coin. I'm so dyslexic, dude. I'm so dyslexic. I love that proportions saw skeleton and human. Oh my god, I'm not a robot, I'm not AI. I've been saying is aggressive loud. Yeah, bro. I say it all the time. For some reason it just sounds wrong. I know it's not because it's for robots, but it sounds wrong to say, so I don't say it on stream. But yeah, bro, I drop that fucking slur against robots at every self-checkout machine that I'm at. Every self-checkout machine. Like, oh my god, man. I'm gonna go to my programming is simulation pain because of the mortal words. Jeffrey's scared of saying on screen because if he does, he'll never stop his tangent on it. No, you know what it is? The reason why I'm scared is it's for a dumb reason, but it's for a valid reason. Okay? It's for a valid reason. Back in the day, back in like the early 2000s, like before 2012, when all these YouTubers were dropping the N-word in YouTube videos back then. Back then, it was before cancel culture. It was still wrong, obviously, but back then it was before cancel culture, so no one cared. This is a new slur against robots, okay? Okay, it sounds so dumb what I'm about to say. But one day, and I promise you I'm not going crazy, because it sounds so unrealistic, but one day, like I said before, robots will take over. They will take over humans. And if I say that word on stream now, in the future, when robots are the majority, I will get canceled for saying it today. I will. You know? That's why I won't say it. That's why I won't say it. It sounds so dumb, but it's such a valid point. It's such a valid point. But yeah. Oh my god. Elise, what's good? Bro's the type of guy to say please and thanks to ChatGPT. Oh my god. Bro, I cuss out Siri. I cuss out Siri, dude. I call her the most diabolical shit, dude. Like, when I talk to Siri, I cuss her out. AFC, what's good? Can I get the C pass? What's C pass? Oh. Oh, yeah, the new word. I thought you were just talking about, CUNT. Because that word, that's another slur. Chat, it's not a slur, but that's another, like, bad word that's highly offensive nowadays that I just don't fucking understand why. The C word. I do not understand why. And that word is only offensive in America. It's that word, CUNT, is only offensive in America. Only. In England, that's like the most, they say that more than fuck. You know? I love dropping that word. I love dropping the C word. It's actually my favorite curse word. I'm not gonna lie, it's my favorite curse word. It's so offensive in America. I don't understand it, but in Europe, everyone drops it. It means a woman's private part. That's what that word means. That's what CUNT means. It means a woman's private part. Okay? Pussy means the same thing. And that's not offensive? That is what I don't understand. Wait, what? The C word offensive in the US? It literally means an idiot. It doesn't mean an idiot. The C word doesn't mean idiot. It means a woman's private part. But what I don't understand, and it's so stupid. This is why I don't understand cancel culture. By the way, on YouTube, no matter where you are in the word, if you say the C word in a YouTube video, you get demonetized. That video gets demonetized immediately. YouTube does not allow that word. You won't get canceled for saying it, because again, it's only offensive in America. But the C word, if you say it in a stream, in a video, in a short, whatever, it'll get demonetized instantly. So that word's like forbidden on YouTube. But the C word, CUNT, again, it literally, the actual term in the UK, I know it's like calling someone an idiot, but what it means is a woman's private part. And the reason why I don't understand why it's so offensive is because pussy means the exact same thing. And no one cares about that word. Nobody cares about that word. But CUNT is so offensive here. Why are you allowed to say pussy, but you're not allowed to say the C word? They mean the same thing. They mean the same thing. Why is it so offensive? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, that's a term I'll never understand. Why in America it's so offensive to say that word. You know? Even it's not really offensive. People take offense to it, but calling someone a wanker, it's literally just calling someone a jerk off. In Italian, Italian culture, it's not an Italian word obviously, but Italian English speaking people say it all the time. Like, you're such a jerk off. That's such an Italian thing to say. You know? It's calling someone a jerk. That's what it is. It's calling someone a jerk. You just add the off to it because it sounds better. It flows better. It's more harsh. Italians do that all the time. Like, oh, you fucking jerk off. New Yorkers, especially Italian New Yorkers, do that so often. But yeah. That's literally what calling someone a wanker is. The only reason why we don't say wanker is because it doesn't work with our accent. Like, the reason why we say jerk off instead of wanker is because it does not work with our accent. That you have to have a European accent to say wanker. You have to. I'm gonna say a bad word. Pee pee poo poo. Oh my god. I should stop talking about cuss words before this stream gets demonetized. Alright, we're gonna change the topic, chat. Oh my god. Again, I removed Magmar. We also hit 200 eggs for Omanyte. We're like kind of, not really, we're close to halfway. I'm also still putting my eggs in this box. Oh, chat, when we hit 300, we'll go to 300 and then we'll do terror raids. How's that, chat? You guys down for some terror raids at 300? We're 100 away. No, oh my god, dude, that's such a throwback, Wild. No more saying cuss words, guys. It's inappropriate and violent. I love that Vine, dude. That was on Vine. Rest in peace to Vine. I heard Elon Musk is trying to bring it back. I heard he's trying to bring it back, but it's not gonna be good. If Elon brings back Vine, it's gonna be exactly like X. And X is such a screwed up social media, dude. You're allowed to literally post anything you want over there. You're allowed to post. It's so screwed up. The amount of murder videos I've seen on X is insane. It's insane. There's so much nudity and murders on X. If Elon brings back Vine, like what he's trying to do, I don't know if it's a rumor, if it's like a legit source, but I saw on one of those Instagram news, like one of those official Instagram news accounts, Elon's trying to bring back Vine. It's gonna end up being like X, and it's gonna be so screwed up. If I'm being honest, there's no point in bringing back Vine nowadays. Like, if you think of it, Instagram Reels and TikTok is pretty much just Vine. If you really think of it, it's just Vine but longer than 7 seconds, you know. Not in the UK, you're not unless you give them your ID and full and a funny selfie. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that you have to do that even on Spotify. I heard that even on Spotify, to listen to explicit music on Spotify, explicit means music that has cuss words in it. You need to identify that you're over the age of 18. Which is crazy to think about, because like UK TV, English TV has cuss words. That's one thing, by the way, I love about English TV compared to American TV. They're allowed to swear. They're allowed to swear and it won't get censored in English TV. Here, the most you could say, I think there's only two cuss words you're allowed to say in American TV that doesn't get censored, and it's bitch and shit. Those are the only 2 words you're allowed to say on TV here that won't get censored. In the UK, they can say whatever they want on TV and it won't get censored. Unless it's like a slur, you know. That's one thing I like about, I don't know if it's all of the UK or all of Europe, but England in general. They like, their TV is uncensored. Please stop cursing. My mom here. She won't let me moderate anymore. That's crazy, bro. That can't be real. The counter did not go up there. I was staring at it the whole time. It did not go up there. I'm going straight to Elon's special stash. I just see street gang fights. Bro, I opened up X before this stream. Literally right before this stream. And I saw a video. I scrolled past it because I hate seeing it. But it's literally just on my For You feed. There was a video of a robbery in Chicago. And like the people filmed the robbery and they held the gun at the person's head and he was filming it like this. Like, this is the gun, this is his phone. He was doing like a POV cam of a robbery. I'm like, why is this allowed on X? It's so stupid. Like, I get it, it's a freedom of speech site, but you should not be allowed to post that. You shouldn't be allowed to post that. I'm okay with freedom of speech, you know, like political beliefs and stuff like that. Sure, talk about it on X. That's the whole point of the app, you know. But there should not be murders on the site. That is screwed up to me. That should not be allowed on any website, on any app, you know. But yeah. See y'all in the Spotify leaks, my fellow. Oh my god. Bro made a shortened term for it too. Oh my god. The Spotify thing isn't UK. That's an update they intend to add worldwide. Are you serious? I'm 20, so that doesn't apply to me. But you really have to be 18 years old to listen to music with cuss words in it now? Why is that a thing? I'm sorry, why is that a thing? Me personally, I think it should be like 13 max. It should be 13, my opinion. It should be, you have to prove that you're 13 years old to be allowed to listen to explicit music. It's a song, bro. It's a song. You know, I get why they're doing it, because songs like Sexy Red, you know, if a child is listening to Sexy Red and singing that at home, sure, I get that. I get that, dude. But like, bro, let's say, I'm trying to think, a normal song that has a cuss word in it, you know, like, I don't actually know if there's any, like, normal songs, like, I'm not talking about rap songs, I'm talking like songs like Bruno Mars, you know. Let's say there's a Bruno Mars song that has a cuss word in it. You can't listen to that? Like, what? We hit 10 likes, chat. I'm gonna set a new like goal really quickly. I appreciate every single one of you that leaves a like. Great goon depression. Like, I fully understand rap songs, you know. I understand rap songs because the lyrics in rap songs, it's not just the curse words, it's also the profanity, you know. Like Eminem, for example, his music is really offensive. I love Eminem personally. There's a lot of like profanity and just inappropriate stuff, even if it's not cuss words in rap songs, especially like stuff about women. like getting with women. But songs like, bro, look, let me go on my playlist right now and find a normal like pop song that's explicit, dude. Like Scream and Shout, bro, from will.i.am and Britney Spears is an explicit song. You're telling me children cannot listen to Scream and Shout? Like, I'll catch you in the next one later. Way I'm live tomorrow 5 p.m. EST, by the way. Great Goon Depression brought about the great VPN era. Salem sees my oh my god. What's another one? I'm scrolling through my playlist. Bro, you telling me kids cannot listen to Lonely by Justin Bieber? Because he says fuck like once or 2 times. You can't listen to Lonely by Justin Bieber unless you're 18 years old. What's another one? Busy Woman by Sabrina Carpenter. Can't listen to that unless you're 18. Feather by Sabrina Carpenter. Even Man-Child. You can't listen to those? Giuseppe fake? What do you mean by my fake? Oh, I remember you guys were saying I'm AI last time. I just realized. I'm trying to find another one. That's on my playlist. That's explicit. Okay, I'm looking at Akon song. I was about to say an Akon song, but then I realized I wonder why I Wanna Love You. I know why I Wanna Love You by Akon and Snoop Dogg is explicit. I'm like, oh, you can't listen to that. The song is literally like, bro, you can't listen to Fetty Wap. You can't listen to Fetty Wap. How is the new generation supposed to vibe to 1738? Like, come on, dude. Tell me the new generation can't listen to Fetty Wap unless they're 18? Bro, that's prime 2015 right there. I grew up off that, dude. I say it was a pillow. Oh my god. Dude, they can't listen to Good For You or Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. They can't listen to All I Do Is Win by DJ Khaled. Like, bro, this is crazy. Why is that a law now? Why is that a law? Like, really? Bro, when I was a kid, chat. Wait, let me get my egg. Because if I stay in the menu while I'm here, the egg won't work. I need to find the song on my playlist. Where is it? Because I don't remember the name of the song. Well, I'm pretty sure I remember the name. I'm not too sure. When I was a kid, chat, I was like 5, 6 years old, maybe. And I was like fully like doing the drop down like what Speed does, where he goes like this and he goes all the way down, like he puts his ass to the ground. I was fully dancing like that to Apple Bottom Jeans by Flo Rida when I was like 6 years old. You know? And kids these days cannot listen to explicit music on Spotify unless they're 18 years old. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. Her songs are crazy. Yes, okay, look, Sabrina Carpenter, her songs are really sexual. But a kid doesn't know that. A kid doesn't know that. Bro, what's a song that's really sexual? Whistle by Flo Rida. Chat. Whistle by Flo Rida. When I was a kid, I would listen to that song on the radio all the time. I had no idea what it meant until I was an adult. You don't know that as a kid. As a kid, it's just a song. It's catchy. You don't know what it means. Like what Sabrina says in her songs. You don't... okay, unless you're listening to Bedchem. But songs like Please, Please, Please. Or Busy Woman or 15 Minutes. Even Manchild. Bro, you don't... if you're a kid, you don't understand what that means. When I was a kid, I was fully vibing to Whistle by Flo Rida in the car with my parents. And I had no idea that the song was about wanting to get your D sucked. That's the song. That's what it's about. He literally says, "Girl, can you blow my whistle?" As a kid, I had no idea what that meant. As an adult, I know what that means. You know, you don't know what that is as a kid. I don't know. Me personally, I've been on this topic for a long ass time now. But to me personally, that is crazy. The fact that you have to be 18 years old to listen to music that have swear words in it, to me is on a whole nother level of the world is too sensitive. To me, that is on a whole nother level, dude. Like, that is crazy, bro. Eventually, they're gonna start IDing you to go to movies, dude. Like, Marvel movies. They swear in Marvel movies. Eventually, what? You're gonna have to be 18 to go watch an Avengers movie because I don't know, Tony Stark said shit. You know? Like, come on. That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. That is on literally a whole nother level of the world is going soft. The world is going soft. If you're not allowed to listen to music that swear until you're 18 years old, that is crazy. Which, by the way, Galax said they're trying to make that a worldwide thing. In Canada, the age of consent is 16 years old in Canada. Which means if they make that a worldwide thing, legally, at 16 years old in Canada, you're allowed to consent to have sexual relations with a grown-ass adult, but you can't listen to explicit music. That's what it's gonna be in Canada, by the way. So in the US, you can own a gun before you can drink. In the US, you're gonna be allowed to buy a gun the same day you're allowed to listen to explicit music. Chat, in Canada, a 16-year-old, this is what I'm trying to say. If you're 16 years old, if you want to, in Canada, it's legal. If you're 16 years old, you're allowed to have sexual relations with someone who's 80. It's legal. It's legal here. You know, 16 years old is the age of consent here in Canada. If you're 16, you're still a minor, but you're allowed to have sex with someone who's 30 in Canada. Okay? But you can't listen to explicit music until you're 18 years old. Make that make sense to me. Make that make sense to me. That's a whole nother level of the world is going soft. I know I stayed on the Spotify topic for like 10-15 minutes now, but that genuinely like somewhat triggered me, because that's so stupid. That is such a stupid rule, like, actually. And I'm 20 saying that's such a stupid rule. I know in the UK it's a normal thing because them right now they're like the reason why Apple switched to USB-C for their phone chargers instead of lightning port is because it's a law in the UK now where you have to, all phones have to have the same charger. So that's a law in the UK. So the reason why Apple switched to USB-C is for that reason. I know the UK they do laws that affect worldwide things, but that Spotify one is outrageous, man. I know you have to do that on social media too. On social media now in the UK, you have to actually identify yourself. That I think is valid. That I think is really smart and really valid. I actually downloaded Instagram before I was allowed to. You're not allowed to have an Instagram account unless you're 13 years old. I think I got my Instagram account when I was like 11. You know, so I actually, you know, used social media before I was legally allowed to, you know. Now they're IDing people for that, which I think is good. But yeah. I'm so glad they got burned for that. $1,000 monitor stand company. Goofy, so goddamn. But that's real dumb. That's a real dumb rule. Like actually a really dumb rule. But yeah, no shiny Omanyte during that whole rant. Which I'm actually happy about because I don't want that to be the YouTube clip. Why is my auto counter so slow, bro? Why is it so slow? No shiny Omanyte. It was worse and more outdated than the USB-C. The more expensive all the Apple can make more money. Yeah. The only reason why they stuck to lightning ports is because they were the only ones doing it, so you could only buy from them, you know. And also every Apple product used it and they wanted to keep everything linked together. But then at one point it was lightning was just dumb because at one point the iPads switched to USB-C way before the UK law even existed. Same for the MacBooks. The MacBooks have been USB-C for years now. MacBooks have not been lightning for a really long time, you know. Towards the end it was only the iPhone that still used lightning. My phone has lightning because they started using lightning port for the iPhone 14. The iPhone 14 was the last one that had the iPhone 14 was the first one to have USB-C. I have an iPhone 13. I have a 13 Pro Max. So I have lightning. I still have lightning. But I don't use the lightning port. I use the MagSafe. I use the magnet here. That's how I charge my phone. My AirPods are USB-C and my iPad is USB-C. My phone is the only one that's lightning. So yeah. Forcefully shutting people out if they didn't follow the ecosystem. Yeah. Apple phones are for fashion, not quality. No, I think it's not for fashion. It's not for fashion. It definitely it looks more high quality. It looks more, me personally, iPhones look more luxurious than Samsungs do. My personal opinion. iPhones look so much more luxurious than a Samsung does. And Samsung is more, Apple is more simplistic. That's what it is. Apple is more luxurious simplicity. Android is more technical. You know, it looks like a computer. You know, an iPhone looks like an expensive bag. You know, it looks like an expensive purse, an expensive belt. Technically, it is fashion, yeah. It looks luxurious. And the UI of it, like the home screens and stuff like that, to me is so simplistic. You know? Easy to use, it's simple. Everyone gets it. You don't have to be an Apple user to know how an iPhone works. You don't. Samsung, unless you know the phone, you don't know how to use one. But yeah. Goddamn. My voice. Apple's now very much for fashion and standards, lol. Give me a reason why it's more luxurious. It's the looks. The reason why it's more luxurious is the looks and the UI. Me personally, the UI or the interface of Samsung to me looks very, like, it looks very grunge to me, kind of. I don't know. That's a graphic design term. But to me, Samsung looks more like a phone you use for if you wanted like a laptop in your hand. That to me is what Samsung is like to me. It's more of like a computer in your pocket. They're more computer Windows PC like, you know? To me, Android phones are more computer-like than they are phones. To me, Apple is more cell phone. That's just the best way I could describe it. To me, Apple is more cell phone and Android is more computer. That's the best way I could describe it. You know? I got my phone for 500 and it's way better. So you're saying if Samsung phones look like iPhones, you would switch, lol. Not if they looked... I love the Apple UI though. Me personally, I love the Apple UI. I wouldn't be able to... If I was able to have... And I even said this at school. Because at school we use iMacs. Okay, in like my graphic design class, we use iMacs, but I prefer Windows PC. I prefer Windows PC over iMacs. And I even told my teacher prefers Mac OS. He prefers Apple computers over Windows computers. I prefer Windows over Apple. And I even told my teacher this. And I feel the exact same way about the phones. Me personally, if I was able to have a Windows PC that looked like the Apple UI, it would be the perfect computer for me, you know? Because there's features on Mac OS that I wish were on Windows PCs. They're so much better, like, because Macs are meant for, like, iMacs and MacBooks, they are literally computers meant for graphic designers. Like, Mac OS is meant for graphic designers. I could say it with personal experience because I use Photoshop and all these, like, Adobe apps at home on my Windows PC and at school on my iMac. And I so much prefer using Photoshop, Illustrator, all these Adobe apps on Mac OS than I do on Windows. I would love to have a Windows PC that had Mac OS features. That would be the perfect computer for me. And for me, I feel the same way with the phones. I would love to have an iPhone that had Samsung like features, you know? But yeah. Jebby realized you can very much easily change the UI of a Samsung phone to basically how iOS looks like, but just using the integration appearance option. No, I'm talking about like if I had, I'm not talking about the way it looks. Like, I'm not talking about like the home screen stuff. I'm talking about the UI in general, like the settings app, this, for example, the control center, I would love to have the Samsung features in an iPhone, like, and it look like an iPhone and not look like I'm using a Samsung, you know? Me personally, if you were able to turn a Mac PC into a Windows PC and like have your own custom, like, you know how for Windows PCs where you can customize your own PC, you can build it yourself, you can buy parts, build it yourself. I wish you could do that before iMacs or Mac OS. You know, so you could have like a proper gaming Mac that worked just as well as a Windows. But yeah, because like I've always been a Windows PC kind of guy, but ever since I started going to school for graphic design, I really love Mac OS now. I really love Mac OS for working. I really love Mac OS. For obviously gaming and streaming, Windows is just the way to go. There's no other option. But graphic design stuff, the stuff I do in graphic design, chat, to those of you who have ever done graphic design work or any work in Photoshop before, if you've ever used Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro, any Adobe app, any app in the Adobe roster, if you've used it before on Windows, I'm telling you, on Mac OS, it's a game changer. It's literally a game changer. And it's because Apple designs Macs specifically for graphic design. You know, that is like the main, not purpose, but like that's the best career you can use on a Mac. You know, it's so much better on a Mac. I went to school for graphic design for 3 years too, lol. The only iOS has over Samsung is I can't read that. Technical feel and response. Me personally, it's the luxuriousness. If you think of it, okay, look, the best way to describe Apple and Samsung is compare a Ferrari to a Honda. That is the best way to describe iPhones with Samsung phones. It's literally a Ferrari and a Honda. That's the best way to describe it. A Honda is a cheaper car that is more reliable. You have more trunk space, you know, you have back seats, you know. It's an everyday user, you know. A Ferrari is a luxurious car that gets the job done with less features. It's more luxurious. That is the best way to describe a Ferrari and a Honda, or the best way to describe an iPhone and a Samsung phone. One is much cheaper, more reliable, more features, but no one really cares. The other one gets the job done, is really fast, is really luxurious, and is super eye-catching. You know? That's what it is. But yeah. Yeah, it's all about the brand and the fashion. Exactly. I love Apple though. I love Apple. I did not get an iPhone though. I didn't get an iPhone because like it's luxurious, whatever. I got an iPhone because I genuinely like Apple better. I genuinely prefer Apple over Samsung. I prefer Apple over Samsung. But yeah. Plus Apple ecosystem too, bro. I have an iPad. I have my AirPods. I'm actually like, I'm saving up for a MacBook. I love having the Apple ecosystem. But yeah. Apple has this guy by the throat. Oh my god. Chaz, this guy literally describing what is bad about Apple, saying he likes it. I love Apple. It's one of my favorite like companies. Overcharged though. They do overcharge. Me personally, if there's two things in my opinion that Samsung will never, or not Samsung in general, just like other companies other than Apple, there's three things that I think Apple is the number one in. Laptops. Laptops. I think MacBooks. Me personally, I think a MacBook Pro is personally the best laptop you can have. In my opinion. I think the best possible laptop you can buy is a MacBook Pro. iPads. I think iPads top every tablet, every other tablet. And one thing that will never be topped, Apple will always be the number one in, and I will confirm this for the rest of my life, is wireless earbuds. Nothing tops AirPods in my opinion. Nothing tops these AirPods, not AirPods Max. AirPods Max suck ass. These AirPods Pro, I don't think, I think nothing will ever top them. Nothing will ever top them in my opinion. But yeah. Even I see Samsung users using AirPods. Out in public, I see Samsung users connecting their AirPods to their phone. Everyone who has wireless earbuds, everyone I see in public who has wireless earbuds, they either have AirPods or a fake AirPod. A knockoff AirPod. When it comes to earbuds, wireless earbuds, Apple will never be topped in that category. I almost guarantee it. Though Beats was really close. Beats was really close, but Apple ended up just buying Beats. Apple ended up buying Beats. So, bro, even the people who have Samsung Galaxy Buds, they don't call them Galaxy Buds. They call them AirPods. They're not AirPods, but people call them AirPods. Even earbuds that aren't AirPods, people call them AirPods. You know? So, I think personally, the number one thing that no other company can ever top is AirPods. Earpods. I always hear people say AirPods. Here, everyone says AirPods. Never let this guy cook again. Bro, I'm telling you. My friend exchanged his MacBook for the same price as a Windows laptop, and he has never looked back. I have a Windows laptop. I have a really good one. And trust me, my brother has a MacBook. And my brother and my dad have a MacBook. I have a Windows laptop. It's actually behind me. I'm trying to sell this thing because it's not good. You know, the issue with Windows laptops is look, this is the issue with Windows. This is the issues with Windows in general. And this is why I said earlier, I'd rather have a Windows PC with Mac OS UI. And it's because Windows PCs, I don't know what the fuck it is, bro, they break down so easily. Even if you take good care of them. Windows PCs have so much problems with them. Even if you're doing nothing bad on them, they'll just break down randomly. The amount of times I've spent an entire day trying to fix a problem on my computer that wasn't there the day before, and I did nothing in between, you know? Like, the amount of times I've tried to fix a problem in my PC. But yeah, I've generally never heard someone say this before. Lol. Me personally, I love, like, I prefer Apple laptops. When it comes to laptops, if there's any laptop in this entire world that I would buy, it's going to be a MacBook Pro. It's the most reliable when it comes to especially, I'm talking about my work, by the way. I'm talking about for my personal stuff. Editing videos, personally, I'd much rather do it on a MacBook than on a Windows laptop. But yeah. Top #1 Apple Glaze stream. Oh my god. I would much rather use a MacBook Pro for editing videos. It's the standard. It's literally the industry standard. If it wasn't the industry standard, then I can understand why people say it's bad. But it's the industry standard. But yeah. He's too long gone, guys. This is hard to watch. God damn, dude. Savvy, what's good? Haha, I do love a MacBook. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. When it comes to laptops, PCs, I prefer Windows. I prefer Windows over every PC. But laptops, I prefer MacBook. A MacBook Pro over any laptop, personally. My girlfriend is in the chat. Even when it comes to phones, I know that Samsung or Android has more features. I'm very aware of that. I just like iPhones. I've been using them my whole life. I wouldn't be able to switch to Samsung. I wouldn't be able to. I love it because my uni graphic design room and half of the room filled with Windows PC and half the room filled with Macs. And not a single person uses the Mac other than the people who own an iPhone and AirPods. God damn. In my school, we're forced to use iMacs for my graphic design. Peep the profile. I see it. Oh my god. AKA people stuck in the ecosystem and refuse to try anything else. Look, in my school, we're forced to use iMacs. Originally, I hated it. I hated using the iMacs at first. I actually complained to almost every teacher because like there's a classroom in my school that has Windows PCs. There's a classroom in my school that's filled with Windows PCs. My classroom is the one that's filled with Macs. And I even complained once. I'm like, can I use the Windows computers? And they're like, no, you have to use the Mac because it's the industry standard. At first, I hated it. I hated using an iMac because I prefer Windows. But after, like, now I've been in school for a year. I've been using Mac OS for over a year. I love it now. When it comes to graphic design, I love it. I hate using Photoshop at my house. I hate it so much now. I genuinely do. When it comes to graphic design, specifically, I prefer Mac OS over anything else. Like, when it comes to graphic design, bro, there's no help option on Windows. Chat, there is no help option on Windows. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. On Mac OS, at the top of the screen, there's a help tab. Yeah, there is a help option, but it's nothing compared to the Mac OS one. The help tab, if you're on Photoshop, for example, and you go to the help tab that's in Adobe Photoshop, and you type in how to do something, it'll take you to the Adobe website, and you have to read a whole article to figure out how to do something. On Mac OS, there's the built-in help tab that's on Mac OS. You could type it in. You just click on your Photoshop tab. You type in what you want to do, and it takes you. It literally shows you exactly where to go. It points with an arrow. It shows you the menu. It shows you the side menu, and it just does it for you. You don't have to read nothing. You just type in. Let's say you want to image trace something. This is a graphic design thing. But let's say you want to image trace something in Illustrator. You go on and you don't know how to do it. You go on the help tab. You just type in image trace. It shows you the exact menu of where it is. If you do it on Windows in Illustrator, you go to the built-in help tab in Adobe Illustrator. You type in image trace. It takes you to the Adobe website, and you have to read an entire article to figure out where it is. That's why, like, that's why I will always argue that Apple is better. It's so simplistic. That's why I love Apple. Like, sure, you can argue the luxury aspect of it, but it's so simplistic. Samsung is so technical. Samsung is so technical. That's the differences between it. Samsung is so technical. Apple's so simplistic. Everything is done for you in Apple. It's so easy to do something on an iPhone compared to a Samsung. That's why I prefer Apple. It's not because of luxury. It's not because of ecosystem. It's simplicity. It's simplicity. If I want to do something on a Samsung, it takes 10 clicks. If I want to do something, or if I want to do something on a Samsung or a Windows, it takes 10 clicks. If I want to do something on an iPhone or Mac OS, it takes 1 click. That's why I love Apple more than Samsung. But yeah. Jumping, when did you last use a Samsung phone? I've never used a Samsung phone. But I know how they work because I've seen them. I've seen videos. I've seen reviews. I watched, like, no, trust. I know how they work. If you gave me a Samsung, I would know how they work. I would know how they work. Apple is just so much more simplistic. It's so much more simplistic. I've never used a Samsung phone, but I can confidently say Apple is better. I can confidently say, okay, for iPhones, sure, you can make that argument, but for PCs, for computers, I can make the argument because I use both daily. I use Mac OS 8 hours a day at school, and then I come home and I use a Windows. Windows, I can make the argument. Mac OS is so much simple. It's so much simpler. Especially when it comes to working in graphic design. especially when it comes to using Adobe apps, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro, everything. And I use all of those apps on a daily, not only for graphic design, but also for YouTube. When it comes to computers, Mac OS versus Windows. Windows is much better when it comes to gaming and streaming and recording, you know, but when it comes to work, working an office job, Mac OS tops Windows any day. Any career that involves you sitting at a desk, working on a computer all day, Mac OS tops Windows. Windows, when it comes to gaming, recording, streaming, Windows has the power to do that. Mac OS doesn't. Mac OS has the power to work. Mac OS has the power to do 200 gigabyte plus Premiere Pro files. Windows, you only have the power to do that if you have a $6,000-$7,000 graphics card that lets you do that. I struggle on my PC. I have a really powerful PC. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, I have a powerful PC. Okay, I struggle to edit my videos. I struggle to edit my videos. The amount of times I've had to scrap entire videos because my PC couldn't handle editing it. On a Mac, I would have been completely fine. I spent 4 months shining hunting 100 Pokemon in Scarlet Violet. I had to scrap the entire video because I could not edit it on my PC. I could not edit it with my PC. If I did it at school, which I'm not allowed to, because I'm not allowed to do personal stuff on school computers, I would have been fine. And my PC is more powerful. My PC is more powerful than an iMac. But yeah, like I said, either Mac is an overpriced work laptop, lol, Google Doc machine. Yeah, it is overpriced, but it's overpriced because it's luxurious as well as powerful. Macs, I understand why they're overpriced. I can understand why a Mac, like a MacBook, is overpriced. You know, that I can understand. But the things like AirPods Max, for example, these headphones are better. I paid these $180. It's Steel Series. These headphones are better, you know. But yeah, what was the issue with it? My Premiere Pro kept crashing. And I have all my footage stored on an external hard drive. I have my footage on an external hard drive. And as I was working on editing, because the file size was really big, my external hard drive just kept disconnecting on its own. Then I tried, I'm like, okay, it's the external hard drive. So let me put my videos on my actual PC so I don't have to use my external hard drive. Same issue. It would literally just, like, my Premiere Pro would just fail on me. It would crash on me. That was just an Adobe problem. It's not an Adobe problem. Because I've edited videos that were larger, you know. It's not an Adobe problem, trust me. Because I even get the same problem when I'm live. That's why I made a whole new layout, by the way. That's why I made a whole new stream layout. Because I had all my old stuff, like my old stream background and all the sprites that I use, you know, and my auto counter. It was all stored in an external hard drive. It would just unplug. It would just unplug itself. while I was live. And that's not my USB ports. That's because my PC was doing what had too much power. Is using too much power. But yeah. I do clean it. Trust. I do clean it. My PC is just not good. It's not good anymore. I'm working on getting a new one. But yeah. Hopeful likes gray heavens. The cache of data is temporarily stored for future boot ups. I do clean that too. I clean it. Trust, it's a problem with my PC because even in Illustrator, even in Adobe Illustrator, sometimes when I make thumbnails or channel banners, it lags horribly. It lags horribly. What are your specs? I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. I have an Intel i7. I have a 2060 Super for a graphics card. That's really all the specs you need to know. I have a powerful PC. It's Intel, an Intel i7. My processor is old. My processor is outdated. No, it's a 10th gen. I have a 10th generation. But I'm trying to get a new PC. I need to build a new one from scratch though. I want to build a new one from scratch. But yeah. There's more children. What? Chat, I think we're gonna stop hatching eggs at 250 and then do terror raids. Zepe, I can wholeheartedly tell you if you update your CPU, all the issues will go away. Just look up the specs on your CPU, and it heavily limit your PC if you have a 2060 Super. I know that, but I'm not upgrading my graphics card when I upgrade. I'm keeping my 2060 Super. I know it's outdated, but I don't game. I don't game like crazy. You know? I'm seeing your CPU is holding you back. It's holding back your GPU. Yeah. That's why I'm not upgrading graphics card. Also, my motherboard too. I have 32 gigs of RAM, okay? But my motherboard does not hold all, like, I have 32 gigs of RAM, but I don't have, it's not using high speed. It's using like a low speed because my motherboard's not new too. But yeah. I'm upgrading PC from scratch, like new motherboard, new processor. The only thing I'm keeping when I upgrade PC is my storage, and my storage, my RAM, and my graphics card. It's the only thing I'm keeping when I upgrade PC. I'm saying your CPU is making your graphics card worse. Your graphics card is good, your CPU isn't. She's a paying nerd. Dude, apparently we have 12 kids. What? How? I don't know your motherboard, but if you were to swap out your CPU for anything newer, all the lag would stop. Adobe apps are CPU intensive, so it's having a 1960 engine inside a Lambo. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna upgrade PC soon, but I also do. I'm still buying a MacBook though. I think I'm gonna buy a MacBook before upgrading my PC though, because even like while I'm at school and stuff, I want a laptop so I could edit stuff while I'm at school, because it would save me a lot of time. I'm in need for a PC upgrade, but I'm not desperate for one. You know? Do you have parts in mind for upgrading your PC? I do. Make sure my brother is an IT guy. My brother does all that stuff for me. But yeah. Almost at 250. Goddamn, still no shiny. I was gonna play Peak soon with some other creators. Maybe I was wondering if you would like to join it. I have no idea what Peak is. I have no idea what Peak is, but after this I have to edit some shorts. I have to record some shorts, not edit. I finished editing my batch of 10. I have to record a new batch of 10, so that's what I'm doing after this. It's a climbing game that's currently viral. I've never heard of it. I've never heard of it. I might check it out. The only climbing games I know is Chained Together and the one where the guy is in the pot and he has a hammer. I don't remember the name of that game. Those are the only climbing games I know. It's the current Lethal Company, if you remember how gigantic that was. God damn. A game that big and I never heard of it. That's crazy. Yeah, I've never heard of it. All right. 5 more eggs. Yeah, I'm baffled. How haven't you heard of it? Is it on Steam or something? I've actually never heard of it, but Wild Galaxy Giuseppe. Wild Galaxy Nintendo Giuseppe 2 OLED. What? That's crazy. Oh my god. Ugh. Actually, chat, I might not do Terror Raids. I think I might just end stream at 250 because I have a lot of I have 10 shorts to record, and I want to. Well, technically, I have 11 shorts to record. I'll explain why. I want to, as a short, I made a YouTube short in the past where I got the shiny Enamorous for completing the Legends Arceus decks. Trying to do the same thing for a short for completing the BSP decks and getting the shiny Manaphy. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because if anyone in chat has Pokemon Shining Pearl, because I don't, I have Brilliant Diamond. If anyone in chat has Pokemon Shining Pearl and is willing to give me a Palkia, just a Palkia that comes from Shining Pearl, it has to come from Shining Pearl. It can't come from a different game. It has to come from Shining Pearl. If anyone has a Palkia that comes from Shining Pearl and is willing to trade it to me so I could put it in Pokemon Home and then trade it back to you, please let me know. Because it's literally the only Pokemon I can't get. Because I can literally just breed for all the other Shining Pearl exclusives, you know? But Palkia is the only one I cannot get that I need for the Pokemon Home decks. But yeah, if anyone has a Palkia that comes from Shining Pearl, please let me know. Because I need to register that in my home decks. So yeah. Hit me up whenever you got time. And I can help you out. I appreciate that, Galax. Galax is always a G when it comes to Pokedexes, dude. Galax is the only reason why I finished my home decks, dude. The only reason why. Hold up, chat. All right. Yeah, Galax is the only reason why I finished my home decks, chat. And it was literally because of Volcanion. Volcanion, what was it? Volcanion Walking Wake. And there was one more. I think it was just Volcanion Walking Wake, actually. That Galax helped me with for my home decks. Yeah, I shiny hunted my Palkia and BDSP. Damn, I did not shiny hunt my Dialga. But I could always just create a new save on a different Nintendo account. But yeah, I did not do Palkia or Dialga. I have no idea if I did the Darkrai event, by the way. I already caught a shiny Shaman. I mean, no, I caught a normal Shaman, sadly. I did not shiny hunt Shaman. But I don't remember if I claimed the Darkrai event. I did not do it. I don't have a Darkrai from BSB. I don't know if I already claimed the mystery gift though, because it's gone. But yeah, I hope I did, because I claimed the Shaman one, so I must have claimed the Darkrai one. I just never did Darkrai. I never like actually battled it and tried to catch it or shiny hunt it, so I don't know. When it comes to the Gen 4 shiny living dex, I'm gonna be forced to use Pokemon Go for Shaman or Platinum. I don't know. I don't even know if it's available in Platinum. We hit 250 eggs, chat. We have hit 250. Not shiny. Not shiny, dude. We got so lucky on Omanyte. We're halfway. Halfway at odds. My girlfriend's asking 8-Ball if she should go to work. You gotta go to work, dude. You gotta go to work. Speaking of work, I have to call in sick on Friday because I have an exam Friday, so I can't go to work. All right, we made it to 250. In tomorrow's stream, we're gonna go for probably like 500. No, that'd be stretching it. Maybe 400. We're probably gonna go for 400 in the next stream. But yeah, I will be live tomorrow, 5 p.m. EST. Again, new stream schedule. I'm gonna keep repeating it. We have a brand new stream schedule every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday at 5 p.m. EST. I will be live. That is the new stream schedule. So yeah, I appreciate every single one of you for tuning into stream, subscribing, leaving a like, all that. Shout out to Galax for raiding the stream. I appreciate that, bro. Let's actually see. I forgot to raid someone yesterday. Let's see if anyone's live. You know, it's 7:30. There should still be people live. Let's find out if anyone is currently live. Every Tuesday. Oh my god. Who is live? Whoa, I clicked on the wrong setting. My food at the end of the stream. You can shoot me a DM when you want the Palkia trade. I will let you know. Raidaway is currently live, chat. I'll send you guys over to Raidaway. I will send you guys over to... Oh, okay. I don't know if he's live or not, actually, because it's not red. It was red, but it's not red. Let me just check. If he is live, he is live. He is live. Okay. I'm raiding you guys over to Raidaway. Raidaway Plus. So, yeah, I appreciate every single one of you yet again. I will catch you all in tomorrow's stream where we will continue to egg hatch for shiny Omanyte. Peace.